Hello everybody and welcome to Dracut Access Television's coverage of high school varsity baseball. Today the Dracut Middies face off against the Tyngsboro Tigers, and this is part of the Lowell Catholic High School Mickey Sullivan Baseball Classic. We are at the Ed LaLatcher Park, home of the Lowell Spinners, here in Lowell, Massachusetts. The Tyngsboro Tigers will be the home team today. On the mound for the Tigers, wearing number 16 is Johnny Carlson, and doing the catching, Chris Rabius. For the Dracut Middies, their lineup looks this way. Batting first is Joe Donnelly, he'll be the second baseman. Batting second is Kyle Houle, playing third. Batting third, the catcher Tom Crowley, he's the co-captain. Batting cleanup in the fourth spot is Richie Glynn, the first baseman. Batting fifth, the shortstop, Daniel Gasek, he's the other co-captain. Batting sixth is Derek Theriot, today's starting pitcher for Dracut. Batting seventh, Jasper Gachardi, the right fielder. Batting eighth, Ryan Talbot in left. And batting ninth, Fred Kozolski, the center fielder. And with that, we bring up the first batter of the game for Dracut, Joe Donnelly. First pitch is popped up to left center field. Left fielder is under it, no problem. And taking it in for the quick out is the left fielder for the Tigers, Matt Ponbryant. So Joe Donnelly goes right after the first pitch with the fly ball to left. With one down in the top of the first, that'll bring up the number 2 hitter for Dracut, Kyle Houle. The set pitch to Kyle is in there for a call strike. The home plate umpire in today's game is Rich Cabral, and doing the calls on the base paths is Paul Doobie, our umpiring crew. Here comes the 0-1 pitch. As a call strike, so quickly Kyle Houle in the hole, 0-2. Johnny Carlson looks in and gets his sign. It's going to be up. Ground ball to the right side as Houle fights that off. So this is our second consecutive week that we've been able to bring you a game from LaLatcher Park. Typically Dracut's able to play a couple of games here, which is nice, playing in the big stadium. We'll do it again, the 0-2 pitch. Very high for a ball. Puts the count 1 ball and 2 strikes. The Dracut Middies come in with a record of 7-6. They are in second place in the Merrimack Valley Conference Division II. Ground ball up the middle and taken by the second baseman, but he'll have no planet. So a nice job by the second baseman to get to that ball. And reaching on an infield single for Dracut is Kyle Houle. So nice try by the Tyngsboro second baseman, James Sampson. He's one of their tri-captains. He ranged very far to the right, made a diving stop, but there was just no way he was going to get Houle. So with one down and a runner aboard, that'll bring up the number 3 hitter for Dracut, Tom Crowley, the catcher. Quick throw over to first base. It gets by the first baseman. Initially they hold the runner, but now he's going to make it over to second easily. So initially, Tim Dano was holding the runner Houle, but then Houle ended up being able to take second base rather easily. At first, they weren't sure how far past the first baseman that ball got. So runner in scoring position with one out. Here comes the pitch to Crowley, up high for a ball. So 1-0 the count to Tom as we take a look at Kyle Houle aboard at second. One down, top of the first. Dracut already threatening with a runner in scoring position. Throw over to second. Not a problem. So we mentioned the Dracut is in the Merrimack Valley Conference Division II with a record of 7-6. That's tied for second. Tyngsboro, who has a record of 7-4, is tied for first in the Mid-Wachusett Baseball League. So these teams are in a non-league game. Actually, part of this tournament. This is actually the Lowell Catholic High School Mickey Sullivan Baseball Classic. Later on, after this game, Lowell Catholic will be playing against the Greater Lowell Technical High School. So the 1-0 count coming up to Tom Crowley. Fly ball hit to right center field. Center fielder is ranging over. Right fielder takes it in and faking going to third base was Kyle Houle, but he holds at second. So fly ball to right field, and with 2 down, that'll bring up the cleanup hitter, Richie Glynn. Little fake over to second, but there's nobody covering. Incidentally, Richie Glynn is second on the Dracut team behind Tom Crowley with a .413 on-base percentage. So he's had a pretty good year at the plate. Ball gets by the catcher, and that's going to easily allow the runner Houle to advance to third base. So that puts the potential go-ahead run, first run of the game, 90 feet away. Not sure how they're going to score that, but it looked like it was a wild pitch. So Johnny Carlson looks in for his sign, and here's the 1-0. Outside for a ball. So it puts the count 2 balls and no strikes. We've got 2 outs here in the top of the first inning with the Dracut Middies threatening a runner in Kyle Houle at third base with Richie Glynn at bat. There's a ground ball to the left side, through for a base hit, and the Dracut Middies take a quick 1-0 lead in the top of the first inning. So clutch 2-out single for Richie Glynn to drive in a run. And that'll bring up the number 5 hitter for Dracut, co-captain Daniel Gasick, the shortstop, as the Middie bench excited to greet Kyle Houle, who is in to score the run. Fly ball, or pop-up I should say. It's playable in foul territory, and nice job by the catcher to take that in, as that was headed for the backstop net. So Chris Rabius stays with that nicely and makes the catch just before the net, and that puts down the Dracut Middies here in the top of the first, but not before Dracut is able to score a run. And after a half inning, it is Dracut 1 and Tyngsboro nothing. So we're set now for action in the bottom of the first inning with the Dracut Middies up with a 1-0 lead. Leading off for the Tyngsboro Tigers is number 12 tri-captain James Sampson, the second baseman. On the mound for the Dracut Middies is Derek Theriault. Theriault comes in with a record of 1-2. He's got an ERA of 1.909. He's had 27 strikeouts in 25 innings. Fly ball to right field. Right fielder is ranging over, and that is going to be just foul. Barely foul. That was very close. And long run for the Dracut right fielder, Jasper Gucciardi. Or Gucciardi, excuse me. So he couldn't quite get over there, but it just drops to the right of the foul line for a long strike. So no balls and 2 strikes now the count, the pitch from Theriault. There's a foul ball to the right side. A lot of emergency action around the ballpark tonight if you are getting blasted by sirens. Here comes the 0-2. Up high. Sampson thought about it, but he held up from even attempting a swing. And it hits him. So the 1-2 pitch tailed inside and just catches probably the left arm, it looked like, of James Sampson. And so the Tigers have their leadoff hitter aboard, and that'll bring up the number 2 hitter, Troy Thurkel, excuse me. Troy is the right fielder, batting from the left side. Shows bunt, offers, and it's a call strike. A lot of wind. But unfortunately, they don't put flags up this early at Spinner, Lalatcher Park, so it's hard to, I think the wind's blowing in on us. There's a call strike. So Derek Theriault up quickly in the count, no balls and 2 strikes. Look at the runner taking his lead, James Sampson of Tyngsboro, being held on by Richie Glynn. Theriault sets, and he throws over to first base. Always tricky with the lefty pitcher. They've got a little bit of an advantage with the move over to first. Theriault looks in, gets the sign, and the pitch. Foul ball to the left side. So Theriault now up in the count, no balls and 2 strikes. If you've just joined us, we are playing a non-league tournament baseball game. It's the Lowell Catholic High School Mickey Sullivan Baseball Classic. We're at the Ed Latcher Park, home of the Lowell Spinners. Dracut's up in the bottom of the first inning by a score of 1-0. We've got no outs, and Tyngsboro, with a runner aboard, has their number 2 hitter, Troy Thurkel, at the bat. He looks at that one. That's a call ball. So the count, the count is now 1 ball and 2 strikes to Thurkel. Theriault asks for time, as he's got to relace one of those shoes. On deck for the Tyngsboro Tigers is Chris Rabius, the catcher. So Derek is ready, as he's going to look in and get the sign from Tom Crowley. That ball's fouled back. Again, our umpires today, calling balls and strikes behind the plate, is Rich Cabral, and the umpire on the bases is Paul Doobie. I'm Gary Muse, and I'm here with the DATV Sports crew. We're glad to bring you another Dracut High varsity baseball game. Dracut's has a very good season right now going. Changeup pitches up high for a ball. As I mentioned, Dracut comes into this game with a record of 7-6. They are tied for, or they're in second place, in the Merrimack Valley Conference Division II. The Tyngsboro Tigers are 7-4 in the Mid-Wachusett League, tied for first. So these teams come in very similar records. Runner goes, and it's fouled off. So the hit and run was on. James Sampson had a pretty decent jump that time, as Troy Thurkel goes after that pitch. As far as the weather goes today, it was sort of a sunny day, off and on, lots of clouds, temperature in the 50s, pretty windy today. We're supposed to stay dry. That ball gets down and into the dirt, and that's going to allow the runner to advance. And I believe it rolled into the dugout, which it did. So automatically a dead ball, so the runner cannot advance beyond. So James Sampson now finds himself over at second base in scoring position. And now, with the count full, 3 balls and 2 strikes, Troy Thurkel has his teammate in scoring position with nobody out. There's a line drive hit to the left side and foul. So Thurkel doing a good job of making contact. Derek Theriault takes a look at the runner. The 3-2. There's a call, strike 3. Troy Thurkel caught taking that pitch, probably catching the outside part of the plate. And a big strikeout there for Derek Theriault. So 1 down now for the Tyngsboro Tigers, and that'll bring up the number 3 hitter, Chris Rabius. Chris is the catcher. There's a fly ball to right field, not hit very deep. Gachurti coming in, making the catch just inside fair territory. It's a very similar place to where that pop-up earlier fell just foul, and he takes it in for the out, so I had to range way over near the foul line. And now there are 2 down here in the bottom of the first inning. That'll bring up the cleanup hitter, Ty Tumpney. He's the third baseman. Swing and a miss for a strike. So Derek Theriault probably breathing just a little bit easier as he can try to just go after this hitter. Takes a look at the runner. Pitch. Popped up. Heading back toward foul territory, but looks like it's playable. And Crowley does a nice job of staying with it as Tom Crowley, the co-captain, makes the put out on the pop fly in foul territory. And the Dracut Middies are able to retire the Tyngsboro Tigers and end their threat here on the bottom of the first. So after one complete inning of play, the Dracut Middies are up 1-0. Top of the second inning as the Dracut Middies scheduled to send Derek Theriault, Jasper Gucciardi, and Ryan Talbot to the plate. Dracut is up 1-0, scoring a run in the top half of the first inning. Johnny Carlson of Tyngsboro sets and delivers. The first pitch is a ball outside. So Derek Theriault, the pitcher in today's game. Theriault's had 2 big sac flies against Lowell in a recent win over the Lowell Red Raiders. There's a fly ball to center field. Hit pretty well, but no problem. Center field arranging just a bit to his right, and taking it in is Tyler Haypenny for the out. So that ball driven fairly well to center field by Theriault. And with one down here in the top of the second inning, that'll bring up the number 7 hitter, Jasper Gucciardi. He's the right fielder. First pitch is up high and a bit inside for ball 1. As we've said before, this team is loaded with seniors. 11 Dracut seniors, so Dracut really counting on having a really good year, as that was a call strike, evening the count up at a ball and a strike. There's a fly ball hit to left field, left center field, as the center fielder was ranging over, but the left fielder makes the play. So that ball, looks like that ball got taken by the wind and pushed left, and eventually taken in by the left fielder for the Tyngsboro Tigers, Matt Pond-Bryant. So with 2 down now here in the top of the second inning, that'll bring up the number 8 hitter, Ryan Talbot. First pitch up high for a ball. Talbot has 4 RBIs and 7 runs scored in this inning. Excuse me, in this season. It's a little too early for those kind of stats. Call strike. 1, well, let's see what the count is. A ball and a strike. Fouled back. So just to clarify, coming into this game, Ryan, 4 RBIs and 7 runs scored. As Johnny Carlson, the pitcher for the Tyngsboro Tigers, gets set for the 1-2. And it's a call, strike 3 on the outside part of the plate. So home plate umpire Rich Cabral appearing to have a healthy strike zone, hopefully getting these batters to swing. And that'll do it for Dracut as they're retired 1-2-3 here in the top half of the second inning. And after 1.5, Dracut is still up 1-0. Bottom of the second inning about to start. Due for the Tyngsboro Tigers, the number 5, 6, 7 hitters, Tyler Haypenny, Phil Sutherland, and Johnny Carlson. Tyler Haypenny is the center fielder. Derek Theriault sets. First pitch is a little low for a ball. Varsity baseball action, the Dracut Middies, the visiting team, the Tyngsboro Tigers, the home team. There's a call strike. As we're at Lowell Catholic's Mickey Sullivan Baseball Classic. Little mini tournament they run here. We're at La Latcher Baseball Field, home of the Lowell Spinners. That pitch misses for a ball. 2 balls and a strike now, the count to Tyler Haypenny. Theriault sets the pitch. Foul back. 1-2. Ground ball to the left side is going to be out of the reach of Dan Gasick and in left field for a base hit. So the Tigers get their first hit of the game. Second base runner.
Now batting number 11, Philip Sutherland.
And with the leadoff hitter aboard, that'll bring up the number 6 hitter, Phil Sutherland. He's the first baseman. Showing bunt, but that pitch is up and away for a ball. Looks like they've got the radar gun going. It showed 41, but that seems a little low. There's a fly ball to left field. This could be trouble if it stays fair, and it will fall foul. So the wind is definitely, I believe, blowing right to left. It seems to be pushing fly balls to the left side. There would have been absolutely no way for Ryan Talbot to make a play on that had it fallen fair. So the count is even at 1 ball and 1 strike. Nobody out, runner aboard here in the bottom of the second. Throw over to first. For a moment there, Richie Glenn didn't know where the ball went, but it was just a few feet to his left. So Glenn holding the runner aboard at first. Tyler Haypenny, that runner for the Tyngsboro Tigers. Phil Sutherland, the batter. Theriot sets the 1-1. Foul ball to the left side. So Theriot up now in the count, 1 ball and 2 strikes. Here's the 1-2. Outside for a ball. Pitch. There's a fly ball to center field, and playing perfectly was the center fielder for the Dracut Middies, Fred Kozalski. He was playing very short center field and took maybe a step or two in to make that play. So very well positioned for the fly ball out in center.
16, Jonathan Carlson.
So with 1 down and the runner still at first base, that'll bring up the number 7 hitter, Johnny Carlson. He's the pitcher. Theriot looks at the runner. And the pitch. Change up just a bit high. Pitch, runner goes. Swing and a miss. The throw down to second base is not going to be in time, and a little bit of backup play there as Gasick backing up Dracut's second baseman, Joe Donnelly, as the ball got away momentarily, but no harm done. And so with the stolen base, Tyler Haypenny now in scoring position for the Tigers. So the pitcher, Johnny Carlson, at the plate has a chance to help his cause with a running and scoring position, the potential tying run. There's a call strike. So that'll put the count out 1 ball and 2 strikes to Carlson. The 1-2. Popped up and over the press box. Hopefully not too close to Mike Poitras, who's on camera 1 up above the press box today for us. Tyler Massey is over at the first base camera. Nathan Corum is on our third base camera. Mike Dobbs is directing. Nathan Vizina replaying graphics today for DATV. That ball gets away from the catcher. Runner's going to advance. So that looks like a wild pitch. It looked like it skipped just ahead of the plate and allows the runner, Tyler Haypenny, to advance to third base. So Dracut not helping themselves right now. We're in the bottom of the second inning. Dracut up 1-0. There's one out. Tigers have a runner. And that ball was labeled for me. And if I had had the window open, I would have been making a play on that ball. But thankfully it's a little cool, so we've got the windows closed. Hard ground ball up the middle for a base hit, and the Tigers tie this ball game up 1-1. So a clutch single by the pitcher Johnny Carlson to help his cause, and with the single, drives in the run. So still only one out now with a runner at first base. That'll bring up the number 8 hitter, Chris Osiello, shortstop. Pitch, showing bunt and making, getting just a piece of it to foul it off. 0-1. So two very evenly positioned teams, you know, top or near top of their leagues, coming in with similar records. Tyngsboro 7-4, Dracut 7-6, and tied 1 apiece here in the bottom of the second. Fly ball foul to the right side. So that'll put Theriot up quickly now in the count 0-2. Osiello is a sophomore for the Tyngsboro High School Tigers. There's a call. Strike 3 on the outside part of the plate. So Osiello is caught looking, and Theriot chalks up his second strikeout of the game. And now with 2 down, that'll bring up the number 9 hitter, Matt Pombryant. Matt's a junior. Here's another look at the call, third strike. Right there, nice spot outside part of the plate, about knee high. Runner goes, and they threw over to first base, and they got him caught in a little pickle, so no problem getting the runner that time. And just like that, the Tyngsboro Tigers are retired, but they do manage to score a run, and we've played 2 complete here at Ed LeLarcher Park. We are tied at 1 apiece. We head into the top of inning number 3. Fred Kozalski, Joe Donnelly, and Kyle Houle, the scheduled Dracut hitters, the 9, 1, and 2 hitters. We are tied at 1 apiece in the top of the 3rd inning. Dracut pitcher Derek Theriot facing off against the Tyngsboro starting pitcher Johnny Carlson. Incidentally, for the Tyngsboro Tigers, their head coach is Ken Connerty. Assistant coach is Richard O'Loughlin and Dan Sargent. And leading off for the Dracut Middies, the number 9 hitter Fred Kozalski. Shows bunt. Doesn't really get it too far to the left side, but it's called foul anyway. It would have been very playable for the catcher, but it is a foul ball. But Chris Rabius, the catcher, would have probably had an easy play to throw Kozalski out, but it's a foul ball, so no harm done. Carlson looks in. Here's the 0-1 to Kozalski. Fouled off, and quickly Carlson now up 0-2 in the count. The set, the pitch. Up high for a ball. Fred Kozalski has 8 hits on the season and leads the team with 10 runs scored. Also has 5 stolen bases on the season. Fouled off. Kozalski is one of Dracut's 11 seniors. So basically, the Dracut the Dracut roster is comprised of 11 seniors and 9 juniors, and that's it. So a lot of veteran players as Kozalski flies it to right center. Hit pretty well to right center. The center fielder takes it in no problem for the out. Tyler Haypenny. And with one down, that'll bring the top of the lineup around, Joe Donnelly, to lead things off. Donnelly flied out to left field his first time up. We are tied at 1 apiece here in the top of the third inning. Pitch to Donnelly is popped up to the left side and being blown foul. Giving chase was Matt Pontbryant, the left fielder for the Tigers. So Donnelly comes back to do it again. Looks like that just missed for a ball. There's the pitch. Ground ball up the center, up the middle, I'm sorry, into center field for a base hit. So Joe Donnelly, with one out here in the top of the third inning, reaches with a single up the middle.
Batting number 7, Kyle Houle.
So with one down and a runner aboard, the number 2 hitter for the Middies, Kyle Houle. Houle singled and eventually scored the Dracut run back in the first inning. Carlson's pitch is a foul, it's a bunt to the left side. Third baseman has to hurry, and he's not going to be in time. So a nice bunt put down that time by Kyle Houle, push it to the left side, catching the third baseman just a little bit. Ty Tumpney came in, had to really hurry and could not make the throw in time, so a good bunt, which was intended to be a sacrifice, ends up being a single. Here's another look at it as he pushed it. Took a big high hop, and that probably helped slow it down a little bit, and it was going to be a really tough play for Tumpney to be able to make that play. Fly ball by Tom Crowley to the left side. Left fielder is there, both runners back, and they're not going anywhere. That taken in by the left fielder, Matt Pontbryant. So now there are 2 down here in the top of the third inning, with runners at first and second. That brings up the cleanup hitter, Richie Glynn. Glynn reached on a base hit back in the first inning. He got the RBI on the Dracut run. Runner goes from second base. Here's the throw down, and it's going to be wide-ranging. Nice job by the third baseman, Ty Tumpney, to stop that from going to left field, which would almost assuredly allow the runner to score. So a heads-up stolen base. Both runners advanced that time, and now Dracut has runners at second and third. And I'm not sure what the umpire just called, but now reaching first base is Richie Glynn. So we'll try to get clarification on that, but the Middies now have the bases loaded. They got Joe Donnelly at third, Kyle Houle at second, and Richie Glynn at first with Dan Gasick, the number 5 hitter, up. There's a drive to center field. Center fielder's not going to get there in time. It's going to score at least 1 run. Second run's coming in, and the runners advance in as pulling up into second base with a stand-up double is Dan Gasick. So Dan Gasick hit a sort of a semi-line drive fly ball that trailed off to the right side of center field. Good to score 2 runs, and Dracut retakes the lead now 3-1 here in the top of the third inning. So I think they're going to score that a single for Gasick, then reaching on the throw after that. So there's a shot of that ball. It was not hit terribly deep, was trailing to the right side of center, drops in, and that allows 2 Dracut runs to come in. Derek Theriol, the batter, as he fouls out off to the right side. That'll even the count up at 1-1. So Dracut Middies making noise once again. They scored a 1 run in the first inning to take the lead. Then Tyngsboro was able to tie it up in the second, and now Dracut has scored 2 runs with 2 outs here in the third inning and lead 3-1. Thurio flied out to center his first time up. Runners at second and third, so Thurio has a chance to add some more insurance to his lead and help his situation. There's a ground ball hit to the right side, not hit very hard. First baseman will take it, flip to the pitcher covering, and that will do it to end the Dracut threat, but not before the Middies are able to score 2 runs with 2 outs. And we have now played 2.5 innings at Ed Latcher Park. The Dracut Middies up over the Tyngsboro Tigers 3-1. We are set now for action in the bottom of the third inning. Due up for the Tyngsboro Tigers, the number 9 1 and 2 hitters, leading off Matt Pontbryant, the left fielder, as the Tigers now trailing 3-1 against the Dracut Middies. First pitch is a bit low for a ball. That's in for a call strike, evening up the count, 1 ball and a strike. Dracut head coach is Steve Talbot, assisted by Tim Dano. Their JV coach is Tim Bolio. The freshman coach is Matthew Kuchar. And then volunteer coaching at all levels, Joe Ganji, Ben Dirth, and Chris Mader. Again, the head coach of the Tyngsboro Tigers is Ken Connerty. Look at the scoreboard. Assistant coaches Richard O'Laughlin and Dan Sargent. Swing and a miss. So the count now even, 2 balls and 2 strikes to the Tyngsboro leadoff hitter in the bottom of the third inning, Matt Pontbryant. Pontbryant, again, we mentioned, is the left fielder. And that's popped up weakly to the right side. Could be trouble. Right fielder coming in for a spaceman there, and it looks like the right fielder making the basket catch for the Dracut Middies, Jasper Gutcherty. So taken in very short right field for the out. And with 1 down, the top of the lineup comes around as the number 1 hitter, James Sampson, the tri-captain. He's tri-captain along with Troy Thurkel and Ty Tumpney. Sampson led off for the Tigers, hit by a pitch, eventually reached second, but got no further. That pitch is inside for a ball. I think the scoreboard's behind in this count. I think it's 2-0. Pitch, ground ball to the left side, and it's fair ball down the left field line. Well placed. Dracut left fielder ranging, making a quick throw to the cutoff man and into second to hold the runner from advancing. So good job by Dracut's left fielder, Ryan Talbot, to get to that ball and fire it into the infield because it had the makings for potentially a double. But Sampson is held to a single. So with 1 down and a runner aboard, the number 2 hitter, Troy Thurkel. Thurkel was caught looking at strike 3 his first time up. He's the right fielder. A replay of him tossing his glove. I don't know if that was the intention. Little throw over to first base, but no problem. So Derek Thurio, Dracut's starting pitcher again. Thurio came into this game with a record of 1-2. Foul ball left side. Thurio with an ERA of 1.909 and had 27 strikeouts in 25 innings. And so far in this game, has struck out 2 batters. So we're even in the count, 1 ball and a strike. 1 out, runner at first base. Toss over to first. So this is the bottom of the third inning as DATV brings you Dracut High School sports. Today, varsity baseball, Dracut Tyngsboro. Showing bunt, and it's a good one to the left side. They'll have to go to first, and out on the sacrifice is the runner. So Troy Thurkel with a good job. Making the put out for Drake at that time was Kyle Hould. So that advances time is called for a second. Batter now for the Tigers is Chris Rabius. And just trying to figure out what we had just now, because it was so there you go. He pushed it to the left side. Okay, so that's what. Okay, so the umpire made a call which basically did not allow the runner to advance, and he was out. So that's what happened. So I was a little confused. I did not see that the plate umpire made that call. So it was actually not really a sacrifice at all. It was he was called out at the plate despite the throw over by Chris Houle. So that's what happened there. So no advancement by the runner. So James Sampson is still aboard at first base with 2 down. And Chris Rabius. Chris flied out to right field his first time up. Swing and a miss on a high pitch, and that'll put the count full 3 balls and 2 strikes. So took a little time to catch that, but thankfully the replay showed a little bit more clearly that the batter was actually called out. It may have been some type of an interference call. There's a swing and a miss for strike 3. So Chris Rabius with a swinging strike 3. And Derek Thurio gets out of any potential trouble here, as the Tigers do get a man to first base but cannot advance him beyond that. So we have played 3 complete here at LeLatcher Park, and the Dracut Middies continue to lead by a score of 3-1. We get set now for action in the top of the 4th inning as the Dracut Middies face off against the Tyngsboro Tigers. Due up for the Dracut Middies, the number 7, 8, 9 hitters, Gachardi, Talbot, and Kozalski. First pitch is taken for a ball. So basically what had happened in that confusing bottom of the 3rd inning is Troy Thurkel made what was a pretty good looking bunt, but then he stepped on home plate, and that's why he was called out. So the play was immediately called dead, even though Dracut made the throw over to first base. The 3rd baseman made the play. Kyle Houle. So he's called out, and the runner, James Sampson, had to remain at first. So that was the confusion. There's a chopper to the left side. 3rd baseman's up with it and gets by the first baseman. That'll allow the runner to advance. Jasper Gachardi is going to reach on an error and go over to second base. So Gachardi is aboard with nobody out here in the top of the 4th inning. He's in scoring position as Dracut leads 3-1. And that'll bring up the number 8 hitter, Ryan Talbot. Talbot caught looking at strike 3 back in the 2nd inning. So Dracut Middies wasting no time and threatening here. Third baseman on that play, Ty Tumpney, with a low throw that gets by the first baseman, Phil Sutherland, to allow the runner, Jasper Gachardi, to get to second. That ball is up high. So Ryan Talbot looking to get some insurance on the board for the Middies' 3-1 lead. Pitcher steps off. I mentioned earlier that Talbot comes into this game having driven in 4 RBIs and scoring 7 runs. And that time it's a ball he offered. We've seen a lot of activity here. There's a shot at a helicopter. It looks like probably a police helicopter. There was some violent activity earlier today in Lowell, and we believe that maybe this has something to do with it. There's a line drive to right field. It's going to be in the gap. This should score a run. Right fielder is up with it, fires in, it will score the run. Coming around to score the 4th Dracut run is Jasper Gucciardi. So Ryan Talbot with a single to right field to drive in the Dracut 4th run. And with nobody down and a runner aboard at first, that'll bring up the number 9 hitter, Fred Kozalski. Kozalski, the center fielder, fly to center his first time up. Runner goes, and it's low. Let's see the throw. The throw's going to be high and into center field, but center fielder is in to back that up, so no chance for Ryan Talbot to advance any further. So Middy's playing some aggressive base running right now, and they've got a runner in scoring position. Top of the 4th inning, already 1 in as Dracut leads 4-1, and a runner in scoring position for Fred Kozalski. Runner goes again. Pitch is up high. Let's see if he gets him. Safe, as the call is safe, as Ryan Talbot slides underneath the tag attempt by the 3rd baseman, Ty Tumpney. Another quick look at it. Nice angle there, as he did just get underneath that tag and hold on to 3rd base. So good job by Talbot. There's a fly ball to the right side, but out of play. So really good aggressive base running. 2 stolen bases here in the top of the 4th inning for Ryan Talbot. Two and 1 the count. Fly ball hit pretty well to the right side. This should score the runner. It's taken in, tagging up is Talbot, and he will have no problem getting in to score the 5th Dracut run. So nice job by Fred Kozalski with a sac fly to right field. And Dracut up 5-1 over the Tyngsboro Tigers. So 1 down now. And that brings the top of the lineup around in Joe Donnelly. That pitch is up high, so a couple of balls up high, and that helped with some of Talbot's steals, as he picked good pitches, as at least one of those pitches was up high on, I believe, the steal of 3rd base. So Joe Donnelly is at the plate. He flied out his first time up and then singled and scored a run back in the 3rd inning. Joe Donnelly's a junior. Pitch is a bit outside for a ball. Up and away for a ball. So the count, 3 balls and 1 strike to Joe Donnelly with 1 down and a runner first. Dracut with a 5-1 lead. Up high and drawing the walk is Joe Donnelly. So a little bit of control problem right now for the starting pitcher, Johnny Carlson of the Tyngsboro Tigers. He's had several pitches up high. So we'll have to see if he's going to be on any sort of a short leash. Look at the scoreboard. That's a nice thing to do here at LeLatcher Park, is they take pictures of all the players, headshots, and then they get their faces up on the scoreboard with their name as they come up to bat. so really gives them the big league feel out here. So Kyle Houle is your batter. Houle has a couple of singles and has scored 2 runs in this ball game. Throw over to first base, but back diving in is Joe Donnelly. Houle is a junior. He's the third baseman. Johnny Carlson, the Tyngsboro pitcher, checks in for the sign. There's a hit and run. And it takes a funny hop on the third baseman. It's going to get by him into left field. No advancement by the runner at second base. So that took a funny hop. Not sure how they're going to score it. We'll score it a single for Kyle Houle. And with 1 down and runners at first and second, that'll bring up the number 3 hitter, Tom Crowley, the senior catcher. He flied to right field in the first and left field in the third. Fly balls in both at bats. Out to the mound is the head coach for the Tyngsboro Tigers, Ken Connerty, having a chat with Johnny Carlson as Carlson's had a little bit of control issue and Dracut's been hitting him. So they're going to stick with him right now. And it should be worth mentioning, I should have mentioned this earlier, that that Johnny Carlson is actually a freshman. So he comes in as one of the younger players on both sides. So Tom Crowley comes to the plate for Dracut. That pitch is up and in for a ball. So Dracut threatens. Already 2 runs in here in the top of the 4th inning. Dracut up 5-1, and a little spin around fake by the pitcher. The throw to second, but didn't fool anybody. Joe Donnelly, no problem getting back in a second. So the runner is Donnelly at second base, Kyle Houle at first base, and Tom Crowley the batter. Crowley's a senior. He's one of the co-captains along with Dan Gasick. Runners go, and into third base. I believe he's got the stolen base. He does. Was waiting for a call by the umpire, and looked like he was definitely safe. So another steal by the 2 Dracut runners. This time Donnelly and Houle. And here's a look as the runner from second base went. And actually the ball was dropped, but he probably would have had third base anyways. The ball was bobbled a little bit. And now Dracut, with only 1 down, has runners at second and third. Threatening. Fly ball hit pretty well to center field. This will get at least 1 run in. It's taken in. So the sacrifice will allow the runner from third base to tag up. And do they get him? Yes, they do. So the fly ball sacrifice to center field by Crowley drives in Joe Donnelly, but then tagging up sort of to fake and then not being able to get back in time is Kyle Houle, and he is caught at second base. But the Dracut Middies are able to score another run, making it 3 total in the top of the 4th. And after 3.5 complete innings of play at Alachua Park, the Dracut High School Middies lead the Tyngsboro High School Tigers 6-1. So we are set now for bottom of the 4th inning action as the Dracut Middies, with 3 runs in the top half of this inning, are up with a pretty commanding 6-1 lead. Leading things off is the number 4 hitter, Ty Tumpney. Ty popped up to the catcher his first time up. Tumpney, Tyler Haypenny, and Phil Sutherland, the scheduled Tyngsboro hitters. Tumpney is a senior. He's one of the tri-captains on the Tigers, along with James Sampson and Troy Thurkel. You can see the tail of the game right now with the innings. Call strike. So 3 balls and a strike now to Ty Tumpney. He's the third baseman. Derek Thuriol, the Dracut pitcher, sets the 3-1. That's going to be outside and drawing a leadoff walk here in the bottom of the fourth inning, Ty Tumpney. So that's exactly what Tyngsboro needs to do, because they need to score some runs here as Dracut continues to widen their lead. Time is requested and granted as Dracut head coach Steve Talbot will take a walk to the mound to chat with his pitcher. So Derek Theriault looking to improve his record to 2-2 in the season, and he's well on his way to doing that right now as they finish their discussion. And we'll get set to resume.
Number 13, Tyler Halfpenny.
The number 5 hitter, Tyler Halfpenny, is the center fielder. Tyler singled, stole a base, and actually scored the lone Tyngsboro run back in the second inning. Tyler's a sophomore. So this Tyngsboro roster is much more spread out as far as what years people are in. 3 seniors on the team, so Tyngsboro will not be losing a lot this year. So 3 seniors, they have a few, 3 juniors, some sophomores, and some freshmen. So very well spread out, and are positioned to probably have a few competitive years ahead as they come into this game 7-4, which is good for a tie in first place for the Mid-Wachusett Baseball League. Dracut 7-6 as they are in second place in the Merrimack Valley Conference 2, they call it, MVC 2 division. So the count is even at 2 balls and 2 strikes with nobody out and a runner at first base here in the bottom of the fourth inning. Pitch, popped up, could be playable, but it drifts foul. Taking a quick peek at that was Dracut catcher Tom Crowley. Incidentally, Tom Crowley, the catcher, is the son of Tim Crowley, who was a longtime Dracut baseball coach. He coached at the varsity level with Hank Golick for many years at Dracut High School. And Tim, Tom's dad, serving his community as a police officer, I believe still over with the Lowell Police Department. Fouled back. So the count at 2 balls and 2 strikes to Tyler Halfpenny. Bottom of the fourth, Dracut up 6-1. Nobody out and a runner at first base. Ty Tumpney drew a walk to lead things off here in the bottom of the fourth. Theriault looks at the runner, sets the 2-2. Changeup pitch is called strike 3 as it drops in on the outside part of the plate. So Tyler Halfpenny is caught looking, and with 1 down, that'll bring up the number 6 hitter, Phil Sutherland. And it looks like they've got a pinch hitter actually coming in. Connor Tompkins is now in. So my apologies for not taking a look there. So pinch hitter Connor Tompkins is in. Swing and a miss as Connor batting from the left side. Thankfully, there's a PA announcer that helped me catch that. Connor's a sophomore. That pitch is taken inside for a ball. Derek Theriault sets, looks in. The 1-2. Just fouled back as Tompkins gets a piece of that to stay alive. Looks like the wind has died down as you could really feel it and hear it blowing earlier. And temperatures were supposed to be dropping down into the lower 50s during game time. Still a little bit of wind out there, actually. Pitch, swing and a miss on the high fastball. And Tompkins is retired, and that'll bring up the pitcher, Johnny Carlson, with 2 down in the bottom of the 4th inning. Carlson, his first time up, singled and then was caught trying to steal. Pitches up high and away for a ball. Carlson, the pitcher for the Tyngsboro Tigers, incidentally did come into this game with a record of 1 win and no losses. Therio with the throw over to first base. Richie Glenn holding the runner aboard, Ty Tumpney. Therio sets the 1-0. Inside for ball 2. So as this game progresses, the stands will become a little bit more packed because this is the first of 2 back-to-back games in this Lowell Catholic Mickey Sullivan Baseball Classic. After the Dracut Tyngsboro game, Lowell Catholic will face off against the Greater Lowell Griffins. That was a call strike. So the count now at 2 balls and a strike to Johnny Carlson. Theriel sets, pitch is a line drive to right field, and there for the play, no problem, is the Dracut right fielder Jasper Gucciardi for the out, and the Dracut Middies retire the Tyngsboro Tigers in the bottom of the 4th. So we have played 4 complete innings of play at LaLatcher Park, and the Dracut Middies are up over Tyngsboro 6-1. We're set now to play the top of inning number 5 as the Dracut Middies face off in this non-league game, tournament game against the Tyngsboro Tigers.
Now batting number 3.
Up for the Middies, due up, Richie Glenn, Daniel Gasick, and Derek Thuriel. Richie Glenn takes the first pitch for a ball. Glenn singled in the 1st inning and reached in the 3rd inning. So he's been aboard in both of his appearances. There's a solid base hit to left field. Drilled between the shortstop and third baseman. So Glenn having a good day, making contact. He's been on base 3 times in this game. And he leads things off for Dracut in the top of inning number 5. And with the runner aboard and nobody out, that'll bring up the number 5 hitter, Daniel Gasick, the shortstop. He's a senior co-captain with Tom Crowley. Gasick popped out to the catcher and singled and reached second base on a throwing error back in that 2-run 3rd inning for Dracut. And that single drove in 2 Dracut runs, so 2 RBIs for Dan Gasick in that inning. Pitch, fly ball to center field. Ranging a little bit to his left and coming in as the center fielder makes the play no problem. Tyler Haypenny. So 1 down now here in the top of the 5th inning with a runner at first base. The pitcher, Derek Thuriel, comes to the plate. Thuriel fly to center in the 2nd inning and grounded out to the first baseman, who tossed over to the pitcher covering for the out in 3rd inning. Richie Glenn takes his lead. Pitch, oh! Pitch is way inside and it looks like it hit him, and it did. May have hit him up on the shoulder, possibly the arm. I don't know if we caught that or not, but nevertheless, Derek Thuriel hit by a pitch to reach first base. Here's another look at it. Got away from the pitcher, came way inside. Oh, it's off, actually off the very top of his back, center top of his back, but it did not look like it was thrown terribly hard. That ball is fouled off by number 24, Jasper Gucciardi, senior right fielder. Jasper flew out to left field in the second inning, reached on an error and scored in the fourth inning. So runners now at first and second with one out for the Middies, threatening once again as they lead 6-1 here in the top of the fifth. There's Derek Theriot taking his lead at first base. Not being held on. Here's the pitch. Misses just a bit for a ball. So that evens up the count. 1 ball and 1 strike to Jasper Gucciardi. Two balls, 1 strike the count. There's a fly ball hit pretty well to left center field. Actually, I'm sorry, not hit as well as I thought. Looked better when it left the infield, but it actually dropped in fairly shallow left center field, but it's in there for a single. So with 1 down, Jasper singles to left field, and now the bases are loaded with Dracut Middies for Ryan Talbot. Ryan, the number 8 hitter, junior left fielder. He was caught looking on strike 3 in the second inning. Singled, scored, stole second, stole third, and scored a run in the fourth inning. Really a chance to do some more damage here. Pitch is taken for a strike. So Dracut threatening to add to their 6-1 lead here in the top of the fifth inning with 1 out and the bases loaded. Johnny Carlson, the pitcher for the Tyngsboro Tigers, in some hot water. The freshman pitcher. Pitch. Ground ball hit right back to the pitcher. Knocked it down. Will have to go to first base. The play would have obviously been to go right to home and force out the runner to negate another run, but they go to first base, and the Dracut Middies increase their lead to 7-1.
Now batting number 13, Fred Kozlowski.
Fred Kozlowski wastes no time, hits a ball pretty well to left center field. Center fielder ranges over and stays with it. As these balls look better than they end up. They seem a little bit deeper, probably just our vantage point, and taken in no problem by the center fielder, Matt Pomp-Bryant of the Tyngsboro Tigers. So the Dracut Middies threaten big with the bases loaded, but do push across 1 run and add to their lead. They now lead it by 6 after 4.5. Dracut 7, Tyngsboro 1. Ready to start now the bottom of the 5th inning as the Tyngsboro Tigers scheduled to bring up their 8th, 9th, and 1 hitters. Leading off for the Tigers, number 9, Chris Osiello, the sophomore. Osiello was caught looking at strike 3 back in the second inning. Takes the first pitch for a ball. Tyngsboro needs to make some noise as they are down 7-1 against this Dracut Middy team. That pitch misses for ball 2. So Derek Theriot pitching a solid game right now. Looking to increase his or even up his record at 1-1. He came in 1-2. That was a called strike, so 2 balls, 1 strike now the count. Pitch to Osiello. Foul to the right side. This is one of those days where we were worried as to whether or not we could come and cover it because there was a chance of showers, then it was going to be mostly cloudy, but it's one of those skies that look like it could rain. So we're here. We took precautions. There's a call, strike 3, as Osceola was caught looking for the second time in this game.
Now batting number 5.
6th strikeout on the day now for Derek Thuriol. We'll take another look at that. Looks like he caught him knee-high on the outside part of the plate as Rich Cabral, the plate umpire, rings him up. And the leadoff batter is out here in the bottom of the 5th inning. Fouled off. The number 9 hitter, Matt Pomp-Bryant, is the batter. He's a junior, the left fielder. Pomp-Bryant was retired flying out to the right fielder his first time up back in the 3rd inning. Thuriol sets the 1-1. Foul. Take another peek at that. And you could see catching that off the mask on the foul ball was Tom Crowley. And those take a few seconds to sort of recover from. Here's the pitch up high. That'll even the count up at 2 balls and 2 strikes now. Could be dangerous. I did some high school umpiring myself several years ago, and even the umpires can catch some pretty tough balls off the pads, off the mask. And there's a swing and a miss for strike 3. So
Now batting number 12.
Pomp-Bryant, a strikeout victim of Thuriol here in the bottom of the 5th inning. And that'll bring up James Sampson. Sampson, the senior second baseman. He was hit by a pitch in the 1st inning and then singled, reached 2nd in the 3rd inning. Fly ball hit pretty well to the left center field gap. Left fielder ranging and making the play, staying with it nicely, is Dracut's Ryan Talbot, as that ball was very well hit by James Sampson, but just a long fly ball. And the Tyngsboro Tigers, for the first time in this game, are retired 1-2-3. And after 5 complete innings of play at LeLatcher Park, the Dracut Middies lead 7-1. Top half of inning number 6, as the Dracut Middies do to bring up the number 1, 2, 3 hitters, Joe Donnelly, Kyle Hould, and Tom Crowley. So Dracut up 7-1 here in the top of the 6th inning. Joe Donnelly fly to left field, singled and scored in the 3rd, walked and scored in the 4th. So Donnelly having a good day. And actually Joe Donnelly came in leading the team with 10 walks. That's 11 now after the walk in the 4th inning. There's a call strike. Evens up the count at a ball and a strike. So Derek Thuriol, the Dracut pitcher, has 7 strikeouts in this game. Pitching a gem. Pitch misses for a ball. Johnny Carlson, still the pitcher for the Tyngsboro Tigers, the freshman pitcher. Bit of a change-up pitch, misses for ball 3. So 3 balls, 1 strike now, the count to Joe Donnelly. Here's a 3-1. There's a line drive, hit to left center, and staying with is the center fielder. It started to drift on him, but staying with it nicely was center fielder Tyler Haypenny for the out. So good contact by Joe Donnelly.
Now batting number 7, Kyle Hould.
And with 1 down here in the top of the 6th inning, it'll bring up Kyle Hould, the number 2 hitter. Houle singled and scored the first run of the game for the Middies back in the first inning. Singled and scored in the third. Singled in the fourth. So 3 for 3 on the day. Kyle Houle having a great day at the plate. Here's the 1-0 pitch. Foul back. In fact, Kyle Houle, in that 3-run Drake at fourth, Houle was caught trying to round second, got caught going back into second, and there was a ground ball, should have been an easy out, and it gets by the first baseman and in to second base, reaching on the error. That time is Kyle Houle. I think they're going to charge the error to the third baseman, E3 we'll call it. So Kyle Houle reaches base for the fourth time in this game and is in scoring position. So there's the ball. It looked like it was definitely a low throw, but it appeared to be a ball that the first baseman should have handled, but we're not sure how they're going to score that. Whether it's probably an error, but who is against. The runner goes, had a pretty good jump, and the throw draws the third baseman off the bag, and now in scoring position, well, closer scoring position, 90 feet away, Kyle Houle. So Dracut has been very aggressive on the bases. They have been sending runners all day, and now Houle represents the potential 8th Dracut run with 1 down here. Tom Crowley, the batter. That pitch is outside for a ball. Tom Crowley, fly to right in the first, fly to left in the third, and hit a sac fly to center in the fourth inning. So he's flied out to all 3 outfield positions. That pitch is a ball. So a couple of miscues by Tyngsboro. Believe that should have been a ball handled by the first baseman. Not sure how it's being officially scored, but nevertheless, it's an error on what should have been an easy ground ball out against Kyle Houle. But he is at third base now, after reaching and advancing to second on a ball that that went into the dugout, I believe, and then a stolen base at third. And drawing a walk, a 1-out walk, is Tom Crowley. So that'll put runners at the corners with 1 down. Dracut up 7-1. Runners at first and third with the 1 out. That'll bring up Richie Glenn, the cleanup hitter. Glenn singled in the first and in the third and singled in the fifth and scored a run. So Glenn having a good day at the plate. That changeup pitch is taken inside for strike. Have to see what Tom Crowley decides to do. He's the runner at first base with runners at the corners. There's a changeup pitch that now catches the outside part of the plate, and quickly Tyngsboro pitcher Johnny Carlson is up in the count, no balls and 2 strikes to Richie Glenn. So Dracut threatening here in the top of the 6th inning with a 7-1 lead. The 0-2 up high. Definitely just a garbage pitch trying to get Glenn to chase. So that'll put the count 1 ball and 2 strikes. Johnny Carlson, the starting pitcher for the Tyngsboro Tigers. There's a foul ball back against the backstop. 1 ball, 2 strikes. Little peek at Tom Crowley over at first base after drawing the 1-out walk. Carlson looks in, gets his sign. The 1-2. Ground ball hit sharply to the shortstop. He's going to go to second for the force. Over to first and not in time. That'll score Dracut's 8th run as in to score Kyle Houle the 8th Dracut run. So Richie Glynn reaching first on a fielder's choice. And with 2 down, and Dracut now up 8-1 over the Tyngsboro Tigers. And a runner at first base. That'll bring up their number 5 hitter, senior tri-captain, co-captain, I'm sorry, Daniel Gasick. Gasick, the shortstop. Throw over to first, but no problem as number 2 for the Dracut Middies. Looks like that maybe. Looks like a pinch runner. It looks like Sean Nugent. So Dracut's Sean Nugent is the pinch runner aboard at first base. Gasick popped out to the catcher in the first. Had 2 RBI single in the third, reached second on the throw, and flied out to center field. There's a ground ball hit sharply to the shortstop. Easy flip over to second base for the putout. And so, the Dracut Middies, after scoring another run but threatening for more, are retired in the top half of inning number 6. And after 5.5 complete, the Dracut Middies with a big 8-1 lead over the Tyngsboro Tigers. Set now for action in the bottom of the 6th inning for the Tyngsboro Tigers. Leading off will be their number 2 hitter, Troy Thurkel, the right fielder. New pitcher on the mound for the Dracut Middies, Cameron Palumbo. Fly ball hit to the left fielder and a quick out. So the put out by Dracut left fielder Ryan Talbot. And quickly 1 down here in the bottom of the 6th inning. So senior Cameron Palumbo, wearing number 19, is in relief now for Derek Thuriel. So Derek Thuriel pitched 5 complete innings today. Gave up 1 run on 3 hits, walked 1, struck out 7. So a strong performance by Derek Thuriel. So that puts his strikeouts to 34 on the season with 30 innings pitched. And giving up the 1 run, probably see that ERA tick down a little bit. And if things hold, Derek Thuriel on his way to evening up his record at 2-2. The batter now is Chris Rabius. Rabius, the catcher, fly to right in the 1st inning, struck out swinging in the 3rd inning. 1 down here, bottom of the 6th inning with Dracut up 8-1 over the Tyngsboro Tigers. That pitch is outside by Palumbo. Daniel Gasick, who came into this game for Dracut with 7 RBIs, has increased that by 2, 9 on the season now. There's a foul tip into the mitt for strike 3. So Palumbo has retired the first 2 Tyngsboro hitters in the bottom of the 6th inning, and with 2 down, that'll bring up the number 4 hitter, Ty Tumpney, the 3rd baseman. Another look at that strike 3, foul tip into the mitt. Nice job by Dracut catcher Tom Crawley to hold on to that for the strikeout. Ty Tumpney mentioned he popped out to the catcher in the 1st inning and walked in the 4th inning. There's a fly ball hit to left field, and that is going to drop in for a base hit. Ranging over to his left that time was Ryan Talbot, but gets the ball in to hold Ty Tumpney to a single. So a 2-out single for Ty Tumpney, only the 4th hit of the game for the Tyngsboro Tigers. And that'll bring up the number 5 hitter, Tyler Haypenny, the sophomore. Haypenny, the center fielder. Pitch misses for a ball. Haypenny singled in the second inning, stole a base, and came around to score the lone Tyngsboro run in inning number 2, and struck out, caught looking back in the 4th. So 1 for 2 on the day. Ground ball hit kind of weakly. Dan Gasick has it. He's going to fire to second for the force, and Dracut retires the batter for the out. They do get one aboard, Tyngsboro, with the base hit by Ty Tumpney, but then are retired. And after 6 complete innings of play, the Dracut Middies holding on to a commanding 8-1 lead at LeLacheur Park. Set now for action in the top of the 7th inning at Ed LeLacheur Park in Lowell, home of the Lowell Spinners. The Dracut Middies, the Tyngsboro Tigers, playing in the first game of the Lowell Catholic Mickey Sullivan Baseball Classic. New pitcher on the mound for the Tyngsboro Tigers, Phil Sutherland, who started the game at first base in relief of Johnny Carlson. So the books close on Carlson. He pitched 6 complete innings of play, gave up 8 runs on 10 hits, walked 2, struck out 1. Tyler Roberge, the leadoff hitter for the Dracut Middies. Ground ball, chopped up toward the middle. Second baseman has to hurry, and he bobbles it. And he will not be able to make the play. Took a funny hop that time. We'll score it a single. Another look at that ball, as it was a ball. No, maybe not. Looked like it was, looks like a ball that should have been handled, actually. So we're going to score that in E4. So Derek Theriot was the scheduled, well, actually, no, Palumbo came in, but that was the spot that Theriot was in, and the pinch hitter, I'm sorry, Tyler Roberge. So Roberge reaches on an error to the second baseman here in the top of the first. There's a call strike. Roscoe Martin is the batter. Pitch to Martin. It's a soft chopper to the pitcher. He has to hurry, and he does get the force out at second, but he bobbled it for a moment. So a few little miscues, but sticking with it was Phil Sutherland to make the out at second base to get the lead runner. So reaching on a fielder's choice, Roscoe Martin. Now batting for the Dracut Middies is number 20, Austin Chauncey, the junior. So Dracut giving some of the other guys a chance with the big lead. Chauncey takes that for a strike, even the count at 1 ball and 1 strike. So we've got 1 down, top of the 7th. Dracut up 8-1. Runner at first base with the 1 out. Chauncey the batter. Sutherland sets the pitch. As a call strike, gets away from the catcher for a moment, but no harm done. Runner doesn't go. The ball just moved a few feet to the catcher's right. So the count is even, 2 balls and 2 strikes to Austin Chauncey, with Roscoe Martin, the runner, aboard at first. That's a ball outside. So the count full, 3 balls and 2 strikes to Chauncey. The payoff pitch, up high for a ball, and Chauncey draws the 1-out walk.
Foul ball fun zone. I'm talking to you kids. Get out. Thank you.
So with 1 down at runners at first and second, And I have to apologize because I don't believe we have this batter on our roster. So up for Dracut, he's wearing number 26, but unfortunately we do not have that information on our roster, so I apologize for that. And there it is, Michael Patterson. Thank God we're at Latcher Park. So sophomore Michael Patterson. Sorry about that, Michael. So Dracut with their reserves. And there's a ball to the left side. The third baseman was not able to get it. And coming in to score the 9th Dracut run is Roscoe Martin. As that was a ball that should have been handled by the third baseman, we believe, but it got under his glove. Don't know if it took a funny hop or not, but Roscoe Martin comes in to score the 9th Dracut run. And Mike Patterson with the single. Pitch taken inside. Joe Donnelly is the top of the lineup comes around. Joe Donnelly is back up. Joe flew out to left in the first inning, singled and scored in the third, walked and scored in the fourth, and flew out to center in the sixth. There's a call strike. Joe Donnelly, a junior. So Dracut pushes their 9th run across here in the top of the 7th, leading 9-1. 1 out, runners at first and second. That ball hits him. Yeah, thought it did. Wasn't sure if it was inside and just dropped, but that ball hits him. So Joe Donnelly,
Now batting number 7.
hit by a pitch and reaches first base. There's another look at it. Ball's going to stay inside and looks like it may have grazed maybe around the waist, high hip area. So basically now with 1 out, the Dracut Middies just putting the pressure on once again with Kyle Hould at the plate. Bases are loaded with 1 out. Kyle Hould's had a good day. Singled and scored in the first, singled and scored in the third, singled in the fourth. And also reached on an error in the 6th, had a steal and eventually came around to score in the 6th inning. So he has scored 3 runs in this game. That pitch drops in for a strike. 2 balls, 1 strike, the count to Kyle Hould. So Dracut not giving in just even a little bit with the big lead. Staying aggressive. There's a call strike 2. So Dracut with aggressive base running, good contact, and heads up play has put them in the position that they're in, leading 9-1, top of the 7th inning against Tyngsboro. Pitch to Hould. That's down low, and that will put the count full 3 balls and 2 strikes. And nowhere to put the runners. So Phil Sutherland, the relief pitcher for the Tyngsboro Tigers, in a bit of a jam here, as he's already down big 9-1. Change-up pitch is popped up to center field. Center fielder's got it. Runner tags from third base, but he will not go. Sort of made the fake to home. In all likelihood, could probably have scored, but this could be a situation where, you know, on a play like that, Dracut doesn't want to, but perhaps doesn't want to run up the score.
Now batting number 9, Adam.
Then again, they may have felt that the runner didn't have a decent chance at making it home on the play. So now up is Adam Berger for the Dracut Middies in the number 3 position. Adam Berger is a junior for Dracut. 2 down, bases still loaded. That ball drops in for a call strike, eating the count at 1-1. So Steve Talbot giving some of his other players a chance to see some action. That pitch is outside for a ball. Back to third base is Austin Chauncey. That pitch is called on the outside part of the plate for a strike. Getting a few complaints from the crowd. It is looked like it may have been a bit outside. So the count 2-2. Pitch, ground ball, chopped to the left side, and the third baseman will have an easy play with a force at third base for the final out. But not before the Dracut Middies continue to do damage, as they have scored often in this ball game against the Tyngsboro Tigers, and after 6.5 complete innings of play, it is the Dracut Middies leading the Tyngsboro Tigers 9-1. So Tyngsboro is down to their final 3 outs
Now batting number 11.
here in the bottom of the 7th inning. Leading off for the Tigers is Phil Sutherland. On the mound for the Dracut Middies, Tyler Roberge. That ball is popped up to the left side. Could be playable, but no, just against the netting that sort of comes up from the top of the dugout, protecting some of the third base seats. That ground ball chopped weakly to the right side. This could be trouble. Second baseman finally gets there. He's not going to be in time. So a well-placed chopped single by the leadoff Tyngsboro hitter, Phil Sutherland. And just like that, Tyngsboro has their leadoff hitter aboard here in the bottom of the 7th.
Now batting number 16, Jonathan Carlson.
That'll bring up Johnny Carlson. Carlson was the leadoff pitcher before being relieved by Phil Sutherland. And there you can see a little soft toss there, but there was no way. That ball was just hit too softly, and there was just no chance to get him. So good infield single that time for Phil Sutherland. So Johnny Carlson stands in. Big swing and a miss on that pitch for a strike. Down 0-2 in the count. Carlson singled, but was caught stealing in the second. Flied out to right in the 4th. Carlson, a freshman. That pitch misses for ball 1. So that puts the count at 1-2 strikes to Carlson. So Tyler Roberge, the pitcher for the Dracut Middies, the third pitcher of the day for Dracut. That pitch is inside for a ball. Incidentally, Tyler Roberge, who is one of Dracut's starting pitchers, came into the season, to the game with a 3-3 record on the season, an ERA of 1.976. There's a fly ball hit into the infield. Third baseman, is calling for it, and Kyle Houle makes the play. Kyle Houle coming in, making that play just to the third base side of the pitcher's mound. And so the first batter retired here for Tyngsboro in the bottom of the 7th inning. And that'll bring up Christopher Osiello. Chris, the shortstop, sophomore, struck out twice, looking both times in the 2nd and 5th innings. There's a soft fly ball hit, but the center fielder playing perfectly that time for the Dracut Middies. So Dracut's number 13, Freddie Kozolski, playing short center. Just had to range a little right and a few steps in. And now the Tyngsboro Tigers are down to their final out, trailing 9-1 here in the bottom of the 7th inning. There's a call strike. Jacob Carney is the batter for the Tyngsboro Tigers. He's a freshman. Pitches high to Carney. Quick throw down to first base. And very close. But Phil Sutherland gets back in safely, requests time, as he may have gotten shaken up a bit on that first dive back into first base. Heads up play by the Dracut catcher, Crowley, to throw quickly down. Actually, it may not be Crowley. As I look down, there's a swing and a miss. Now it looks like we have somebody behind the plate. Looks like Adam Berger is doing the catching now for the Dracut Middies. There's a ground ball hit foul to the left side. 1 ball, 2 strikes. The count to Jacob Carney as the Tyngsboro Tigers down to their last strike. The pitch. Swing and a miss for strike 3, and that does it as the Dracut Middies defeat the Tyngsboro Tigers big by a score of 9-1 here at Ed LeLatcher Park. Again, this is part of the Lowell Catholic High School Mickey Sullivan Baseball Classic. So Dracut's had a few big wins of late. They won big over Lowell. I think it was something like 11 to nothing against the Lowell Red Raiders 1 or 2 games ago. So the Dracut Middies have improved their record to 7-7 on the season. Tyngsboro's record will now go to 7-5. The losing pitcher in this game is Johnny Carlson. He went 6 innings, gave up 8 runs on 10 hits, walked 2, struck out 1. Derek Theriol, the winning pitcher, pitched 5 complete innings, gave up only 1 run on 3 hits, walked 1, struck out 7. So Theriol raises his season strikeouts to 34 in 30 innings, and that ERA, which was 1.909 coming into this game, will probably tick down a little bit, and he evens up his record on the season to 2-2. So nice job by the Dracut Middies. I mean, the way to sum this up is Dracut made good contact against the freshman pitcher. They were aggressive on the bases, multiple stolen bases today by the Middies, and just heads up, and then it was nice to see some of the other players to get a chance to see some action as Dracut spread their runs out over the course of this game, scoring runs basically in all but the second inning. So just a great win for Steve Talbot and Dracut, and that'll do it for everybody here. For the entire Dracut Access TV crew, I'm Gary Muse from LeLatcher Park in Lowell, home of the Lowell Spinners. For one last time, today it was the Dracut High School Middies 9 and the Tyngsboro Tigers 1. Thanks for joining us. We'll see you next time.